ready to get this started. Thanks for tuning in. We're trying to do this more regularly, but I'm back from vacation, ready to take your calls tonight. Let's get this going. Where are we at? Ready to do this?
Let me make sure that we're good on all of them, bud.
Okay, we're checking our streams, making sure they're very healthy. We're stuffing them full of pot roast and sweets so that they're nice and healthy. Where's the bag? Welcome to the behind the scenes of the stream. It's pretty boring. I'm trying to save all my good stuff for the air. I'm not just going to give it away to the people that tune into the stream early. We're all good? All right. Let's keep going. Let's do this. Hey, Street Fighters. Thanks for being here. It's a live show. Well, the call-in show. We're doing it live. Streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook right now. So if your Sunday nights are normally filled with terror of having to go to work tomorrow morning, stay up super late with us. We're going to be taking your calls all night long until 2 in the morning when we normally do it. 3 hours of call-in shows is on the way. We're looking for your stories about Bigfoots, small business tyrants, drugs, military recruitment, you name it, we want to hear it. The number to dial is 614-412-5252. And you can hear us in Columbus, Ohio on the airwaves by heading over to 92.7 or 98.3 if you're inside 270. That's the outer belt here in Columbus, Ohio. You can find much more programming and a full archive of every Street Fight Radio ever done over at WCRSFM.org. Dig through there, listen to some gems. You can hear how we believe things that are exactly opposite of what we say now and enjoy some of those conversations. But we're happy to have you here as always. And thank you to the Street Fighters group in Facebook. Y'all usually have some good commentary on the show afterwards. We are on the Pacifica Radio Network, coming to you out of the Free Press Studios here in downtown Columbus, Ohio. Street Fight has been doing this for 7 years now, spreading this mess across the U.S., and we're coming to the Middle West very soon. We're going to be in Chicago on September 2nd. We're going to be in Minneapolis on September 4th. We're going to be in Des Moines, Iowa at Vaudeville Muse on September 5th. We're going to be in Kansas City on Friday, September 7th, and then we're closing it all up St. Louis Saturday night at Propaganda Bar. Brian, this is a Soviet-themed bar. So,
this is going to get me in trouble now.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of pictures that night that will get you in trouble with all your Blue Lives Matter relatives on Instagram. That's happening Saturday, September 8th. Tickets are on the way. If you want to be the first to know, our Patreon is where I send all those bulletins out. This show is, as always, sponsored by CBD and Kratom. It keeps us insane. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. Glad to be back, Brian.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back.
You didn't have a tough time, and you had some heavy hitters.
They did have some heavy hitters, but it's easier, always easier to do the show with you. So
yes,
that's the prime easy way to do the show. I had Drew Toothpaste and Will Menaker, the Will Show, come out soon. We talked shit about TVs and movies and Democrats like we always do. So that ought to be fun for people to listen to.
I went to the beach, Virginia Beach, and it was very uneventful. I hated coming back. But all I did was, it was a great vacation, and I know that you are very down on the beach vacations, but we didn't spend any money. We just made sandwiches and sat at the beach for like 7 hours a day. It was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
They're like a public park.
Yeah, that's true.
I did see one really unfortunate situation that made me blow my top. I even had to tweet about it. I was festering over it. We went to this park they have public showers and toilets. It's just, typical beach. They had a gigantic playground. And then they have this food truck that is just sitting there all day long, puttering, just burning up gas and oil to keep whatever those treats inside of it needed to be cold. And I was so pissed about it because they did this in Dallas when I was there. They built a brand new park and they put in these food truck spots. And so then they had 6 food trucks that would park there every single day during lunch hour, just burning up dinosaur bones, man.
Yeah. Just blowing,
running through it,
blowing smoke in the air. Like it feels like you're spending your whole day at the beach behind a car.
Yeah, it's just sucking on a tailpipe.
That's like my worst thing is like when we're traveling or we're driving and you get behind a car and their fumes start coming into your car and you're like, am I gonna die? Like on this drive, I always roll the window down. Like,
yeah, like,
better safe than sorry or dead.
Yeah, better mix some good air in.
I had a traumatic experience while you were out of town, other than working by myself, which was sad. But working without you, it's my powers are only really half when Brett's not around. It's like I did both shows, Brett. If you listen to the intro, I did your stuff.
Thank you.
The #1 anarcho comedy radio show on any station across the nation. I gave it a healthy shot, but it was always still 25 seconds instead of the way that you're able to keep it going. It was always just like, but I tried. But I smashed my toe. I was barefoot, and guess what? It was bad.
Yeah,
so,
you need practice, dude.
No, I don't.
Start out in just socks.
I'm sleeping in shoes from now on. That's it. I'm done with barefoot.
What happened to it?
So I got up in the middle of the night because I always get up in the middle of the night and I'm hungry as hell. And I just go downstairs and I'll eat like one treat and then head back upstairs. And we have a bunch of stuff moved in the house because we're still remodeling because we don't want to put the polyurethane stuff on the floor when it's really hot and humid outside and then have to have the windows open and be miserable, So we're waiting until either we leave for Chicago or a day that's cooler outside, which is not going to happen. So we're waiting till we leave for Chicago to like put the polyurethane on the floor. And so there's furniture kind of in places where it's usually not.
Okay,
It's like, and right across from my bathroom is my record player stand, which I've used 4 times probably in the past 2 years. I do not listen to records very much. I have a lot of them, and I have a lot of good ones, but I don't listen very much. And I'm in bare feet, and I go running upstairs, and I just fucking smash my foot on one of those legs, one of them metal legs, and it rips my toenail in half, and I am just like waves of pain going through my body.
Did you pass out?
No, but it wasn't, see, it's not as bad. Like, at the moment, there was blood, and it was kind of bad, but I didn't look at it. I was like, I'm not going to look at it. When I get hurt, I don't. Yeah, I don't like to look at things when I get hurt. And I figured, I'm not going to die. And, like, if my toe's broken, the famous, if your toe's broken, the doctor ain't going to be able to do nothing about it anyway. So there's, like, nothing you do when something like that happens. You're just like, my toe hurts. And then your wife tells you to take it easy. And then you go walk fucking 12 miles that day.
Did you tape it up?
I taped it up with Minions Band-Aids that we had.
Okay.
Taped it to another toe. I had 2 toes taped together with 2 Band-Aids. And I took a... Barefoot needs to be illegal, for real. Like, this just solidified all of my opinions on barefoot.
We don't need to be controlling other people's feet that closely.
It's a public safety issue, really.
You're being the nanny state.
I am the nanny state. I am exactly the nanny state.
Are you going to make it illegal to not wear a coat outside when it's cold, too?
No. I'm fine with that.
But you should. You'll catch a cold if you don't.
You won't catch a cold. That's junk science, Brett. Junk science.
Well, barefoot is dangerous is junk science, too.
That's true. Wear your shoes, folks. That's the lesson here is wear your shoes.
I didn't wear shoes all week. It was great.
Gross.
There was a rock bed outside. I walked all over it and opened up all of the auras that come out of the bottom of your feet, whatever they're called.
Man, now I can't remember what it was. There's negative and positive ions that get in your feet when you go for a walk and barefoot. It's like No, that like David Avocado Wolf told us
Yes,
this.
that's
so,
what I found. I definitely, I'm a practicer of bare feet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're at the beach. You're allowed to be vacationing, you know.
For sure.
But nobody should be barefoot in Columbus, Ohio, because nobody's on vacation here, you know.
What if you want to save money on shoes?
So now, see, that's something that we can also talk about, is that my new shoes that I bought July 3rd now have a hole in the bottom from my extreme walking.
Yeah. He also, he it's like he's stomping out a roach every time he takes a step.
That's not true. I don't walk weird or like slam my feet down, but I do have a hole.
You pound the ground, dude.
I don't pound
You have a lot
the
of
ground.
torque. You have
I
a
don't
shitload of torque.
have any torque. No,
A lot.
I have the most normal amount of torque you could possibly have when you walk. I'm a very normal walker. And I walk lightly, actually. I'm sort of like soft pitter-patter feet. You can't even hear me coming. Like, it's like, what's that behind? I'm like you remember how when Prius first came out, people were backing into everybody?
Oh, yeah. You're actually getting clipped, running out in front of them.
Yeah, I'm like that. People always getting clipped by me when I'm out walking.
They just this blue blaze comes by.
Yeah, just a
Light. Just
Yeah.
a ball of light.
yeah. They're like, oh, that guy was a quiet walker.
Was that a breeze?
People are always commenting on how quiet my steps are. That's
I can't
something
imagine
know.
that at all. I've seen you break so many things.
Well, yeah, that's a different thing. That's my sitting is heavy. I sit very heavy on things. You
Where
know,
when you stand up, you transfer that weight to where?
I
To your
just
feet.
have
The balls of your feet.
I have a light energy about me.
Really?
Is the thing. Like, people are always commenting on my light aura and energy. And that's just something I have, you know? I'm like I zero impact on the world sort of thing. You know? When I step so light that if I step on an ant, it lives. Like, I could just light walking. But again, I did my walks every day this week because I am a warrior. I live by a warrior's code, and I'm a warrior and I'm strong. So I carried on with my week as though I don't have a sore toe. And
Well, yeah, I mean, with the help of some Minions Band-Aids.
well, yeah, I did tape my foot together and stuff like that. But, you know, most people would have taken, my wife kept saying, put your feet up, take the day off. I was like, yeah, a coward would do that. Like a weak coward would do that. So I guess I could show since we're on video, I guess I could show the people my damn shoes, man. I guess I could show my bad toe, but it's not that gross looking. I was very disappointed when I saw it because, like, the amount of pain compared to the visual of it is like, that ratio is way off. It's like, this doesn't look like anything, but it hurts like I dropped an anvil on my foot.
Yeah, you do have issues with pain.
Yeah, I hate it. I don't like it very much.
You're an exaggerator.
I am. A little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
you famously fainted when you got hit by a baseball, right?
in the thumb hard by the pitcher against the bat. That's like, who wouldn't really? I do faint when I get in pain though. Like, I am like, that's why I can't be in the military, because like as soon as something hurt, I'd be like, oh, I'm fainting. Like, I have like a thing where my whole body, like when I get hurt, okay. So
this wasn't fainting at bad.
Yeah, I have a high threshold for pain, okay? Like, if I get hit, like, let's just say, like, I get punched in the face, right? I'm going to be fine. I never passed out when I got punched in the face, you know? Or anytime I got in a fight, anytime I was in a mosh pit, I never passed out and I was always fine, and it's just like, that hurt a little bit, you know, I got a headache. You know, anytime I ever got hit in a thing, I just was like, oh, I got a headache, right?
Okay.
But if it does get past my threshold, my whole body just shuts off. It's just, you're done. I've sprained my ankle and passed out. I have been hit in the knee and passed out. I passed out when I broke my wrist. Like, I do.
That's a pretty good safety system.
I do. I do shut down a little bit.
I just lay on the ground and do the just that for a good half hour or however long it takes.
Yeah.
I one time when I was riding my bike for the first time, like not for the first time, in the winter for the first time. So my car broke and I was like, we're just going to have bikes now. And I had to ride on ice and I slipped and fell and landed right on my shoulder. And I immediately thought I broke it.
Yeah.
But I just like dragged my bike and like limped. I was limping for some reason, but my arm was just dead, and I was just going and just did that for about a half hour, and then I was fine. It was fine. It was a very slow release of the pain.
This has me really thinking, like, if we're speaking of like a pretty American thing, I don't think it's machismo as much as it's like the first half hour or so to hour after you hurt yourself, you spend so much time thinking about whether or not you should go to the hospital, the
that's
emergency
exactly what
room.
it is.
It's the whole conversation is like,
I had no insurance when I fell on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I was definitely just trying to breathe it back in place.
yeah.
Like breathe those tendons together.
When I broke my wrist, I didn't go to the hospital. Like, I broke my wrist and I went home from work and I took a shower and I went to a bar, and then I was like, this is probably not gonna heal.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the hospital for it, but I waited like 4 hours with a broken wrist before I decided to go, because I don't want to. First of all, I don't want to wait. I know that, and which is funny because that's one of the things that, like, people against socialized medicine are all like, oh, but you have to wait. And you're like, dude, you have to wait here. You're always waiting. Going to the doctor is I went to get my kid a goddamn physical last week, and I waited 50 minutes at a place called the Minute Clinic. And it was just like, oh my God.
Well, they didn't say how many it was going to be. You assumed one.
50.
But that's just their measure, how they measure things.
I just felt like you could just
They'll let you sit there for 240 minutes.
I know. I thought they would let you. I thought the idea was you go in there and you get it done in like a minute. I thought it was a bunch of doctors too. I thought it was like, well, CVS, they got all kinds of doctor money. And they don't apparently have a lot of doctor money, so they just have one back there, and they're like, well, hopefully too many people don't need minute help today.
Ooh, I have a secondhand medical story, too. Over vacation, somebody we were with got strep throat, and we figured out that they needed to get antibiotics. There's no way around it. They didn't want to go to an urgent care, so they ended up I've never even heard of this, getting a doctor's appointment on their phone. And they had did a FaceTime where she showed the inside of her mouth to the doctor to do the examination.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, they gave her the prescription.
That's all you're going to the doctor for anyway, is the damn prescription.
She said the doctor was in her pajamas too. It was
Of course.
in her bed, probably watching, binge watching Netflix and getting paid $25 a pop to do app doctor's appointments. And so then she calls in the prescription and they send it to a military pharmacy. And so she goes to get it, or she calls them to get it filled, and they're like, you can't come here, you're not in the military. So she has to call and get another appointment. They weren't able to transfer it. They're like, that's another transaction. So she had to call back the doctor again and say, hey, I already did all this, but I just need another prescription, and they're making me go through this app again and pay twice.
The damn military can't do your...
The military isn't capable of transferring transactions.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Transferring
we send them all
prescriptions.
that damn money. They should be able to do it.
Nope, nobody's trained. It's the government, man. They can't do shit.
That's true. Well, let's go ahead and take a call.
What's going on?
It says we're not broadcasting on WCRS, so I'm going to step
I can do
outside
that.
and see if we're broadcasting.
I can do that.
Okie dokie,
It's
Smokey.
happening now.
I
I forgot to do it in my prep.
Oh, okay. We're on now. Hi, WCRS people. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we also work real hard on a video stream, but it had everything to do with we forgot to do it.
Yeah, it's usually a part of my list, but we were kind of running behind. So let's get on these calls. We got these folks listening in. Let's see who is on the line here. Is that okay with you? You got another horrible doctor story to tell.
I don't have any stories to tell. I was home this week. I didn't do nothing special except for get hurt.
Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hello, it's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, how are you? We missed you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you missed all the callers, didn't you?
Yeah,
But you especially.
It was a mistake. We had a
Thank you.
it was a whole thing. So it was
Yeah, the key was actually at my house. I hid it in my shed. So you could have went and got it, but I should have gave it to you.
Well, it wasn't. It was just. It was too late by the time we communicated it and stuff. Who cares? You got a really good show, okay? The show with Drew Toothpaste is very good.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I listened to it today. Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you.
So I have a cat update. That's the air horn.
Okay, here's something we talked about last. We've been talking about this for a long time, and I am softening my stance on sound effects on the call-in show, but still,
Oh, hell yeah.
the answer is no. But in my mind, it is softening. Okay, what's going on? What's going on with the kitty cat?
So I have my little NR cat at home.
What's its name?
His name, are you ready? Is Funky Daniel.
That is a very good name. I was expecting something like I always expect our listeners or people that we know to be like, my cat's name is Karl Marx, and it's like, well, I mean, come on, does everything have to be communism?
Sorry, don't you mean Carl Meow?
Oh God.
Somebody out there has that cat. They're changing their cat's name right now.
There's 15 people listening to this show right now like, hey, man, it's cool that I named my cat Karl Marx, okay? So how's Funky Daniel doing?
He's doing great. Right now he's sitting under the couch, I think. Just chilling. Still adjusting.
What is Funky Daniel? Listen, I'm going to ask you this, and it's going to come off mean or whatever like that. Is Funky Daniel a stupid asshole or a good cat?
No, so far he seems like pretty good.
Okay.
Like, he's timid, but like he hasn't really explored the house at all.
That's a cat.
I haven't I thought like he'd be kind of like figuring out the space, No, he's just like every time like I've left for work, and like whenever I come home, he's kind of just sitting where he's at. Like, he's eating and stuff, but like just chilling.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what. Let me give you a fair warning because we left my cat alone Well, not alone. Someone checked on Gumball.
Stupidest cat in the world,
And
too.
Gumball peed all over the damn bed when we were gone.
Of course. See, this is the thing I can't stand. This disrespect of Brett that this cat is always getting down to. Peeing all over the place, eating his succulents. Like, if he's not going to say it, I'll say it, okay? Gumball sucks. But I hope you have better luck with Funky Daniel than Brett has with Gumball, who is really just like living with a home invader all the time.
Look, I'm not throwing any shade at you, but maybe he's just anti-authority.
Definitely is. Scratched one of my best pair of pants and ruined them.
I know he scratched at me one day for because Jason was there with his backpack and the dumb cat. And every time I walk by it, the cat starts swiping at me like that's his backpack. That ain't your backpack, Gumball. I hate that cat. I'm glad you so.
You really do.
I do. I really do. I hate Gumball. People think that's a bit. It's like, no. You have human relationships and people at the house and stuff. You can't keep the animals outside. So have you decided whether Funky Daniel is going to be an indoor cat or an outdoor cat?
Well, so he was living in a trailer park before, like an empty trailer, like an abandoned one, with like a bajillion other cats. So he was like kind of an outdoor cat by default. But I'm on the third floor and lazy as shit. So he's an indoor cat now.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they'll do better in there anyways. They're just going to get run over or eaten by something bigger if you let them out.
Yeah, I'm by some like pretty big streets, so like, yeah, wouldn't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I'm glad you got a cat. How is the house doing now? You're probably about to have to pay rent, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have it set up so I pay online.
I wish I could do that.
Terrible.
My landlord will only take a written check. Will not any other way to pay. I have Minions checks, and I have to pay my rent with a check every month because I actually was like PayPal and I'll just pay you on my PayPal. You know, I get my pay on PayPal now. That's where I get my check. It would be really good. And he's like, oh, we have a PayPal. And I was like, oh, can I start paying you? He's like, different account. Sorry, you can't do that.
That's so weird.
Well, you know, are you in a complex or are you in like a landlord?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, complexes.
Nice and also tough.
Yeah, complexes, though, here's my opinion on apartment complexes. Most preferable way to do apartment living is apartment complex. That is the number one most preferable way. My thing is that where I live, there's not apartment complex. Because if you want to live downtown, you're not going to get, there's not a lot of apartment complexes. So you can't really do that.
Right.
You have to live in a landlord house. But I have had nothing but great experiences. Not great, but you know, like, it's just so formalized. It's so corporate. It's the difference. There are bad parts about it, right? It's what we say about small business tyrants, right? It's that, like, nobody wants to work for a major corporation, but there are bonuses to working at a major corporation over having just a small business tyrant, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the maintenance is a hell of a lot easier and usually more regular because it's not like you're bugging somebody else that has another job that really thought this was going to be passive income. So every time you ring them up, they're like, you know, figure it out yourself. Pee in the bathtub.
I get yelled at so much about my air conditioning filter. The filter in my furnace.
Oh, he wants you to do that?
Yeah. And pay for it. I'm like,
dude, that apartment complex I had in D.C., they showed up once a month and took those things out.
I wouldn't like that, though, either. Don't be coming to my house every month.
They were fine.
You know? It's like, let's chill out on the coming.
That is true. I mean, they're in there way more. They were in my house all the time.
Yeah.
They would just stroll in to change and do weird shit. Plus, D.C. had a lot of weird regulations, too.
Another thing,
how many people can live in a place. Go ahead.
Another thing I hated was that, like, they would just decide that they were going to do the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do the parking lot today. Everybody has to park on the other side of the complex. And it's like, come on, man.
Like paving, you mean?
Yeah, because they do it every year. Like, now's the time of year where every parking lot is going to get paved. That's going to be, like, the new thing. Like, every year around August, every business, August or September, every business is like, we're going to pave we're going to pave our thing. Like, they couldn't do it all throughout the year, and it frustrates me. Nothing frustrates me like a parking lot that's half closed off. I don't know why it bothers me, but it just does. I'm really, like, irritated with construction right now.
How do you think things get built and repaired? I mean, you have to do maintenance. The thing about it is that you have to do maintenance on all this shit.
That's what sucks about the world, right? Is that, like, we haven't figured out how to make roads that, like, because now I'm starting to notice that, like, everything, now that I've lived in the same place for 10 years, like, I've lived downtown for 10 years, I've noticed that, like, basically the streets of a city, a mid-sized city, are rotating, being worked on constantly. It never ends. You know, it's like once they finish something, they go do a bunch of stuff. Once they finish that, they go back and finish the first thing they did. And it's just constant. And I can't stand it. It's too much. It's like, can we cool off can we finish all the work and then take a step back and say, look what we've done. We're going to take a year off.
Yeah, have a party a little bit and, enjoy it.
Yeah. How's work going, Elizabeth?
Frustrating. I mean, like, it's the worst. Just, like, being, having to just work for giant corporations.
What hours are you, how many hours a week you doing now? Because the last time we talked, we advised you to, what was it? It was like, just keep your time if you can. What kind of hours are you working now?
Well, so I actually just got back on Friday. I was volunteering at an LGBT summer camp for like a week. So, and during that time, we got like a new store manager, which is actually good because we just did not have one.
Okay.
At all. Like you do.
What? Yeah, I've worked at